Hello, subscribers. This one's gonna be different. The video I'm gonna look at today is not by an atheist. It's from a channel called Faith, Theology, and I. And the video is called 7 Bible Verses, which prove that reincarnation was taught by Jesus. I've never seen this channel before, so I don't know what they believe, other than this video title. But clearly they are not atheists. Now, obviously, the Bible does not teach reincarnation at all, but that might depend on how loose you are with the definition of reincarnation. For example, if the only place you've heard of reincarnation was from some isekai animes, then I could see you getting confused and thinking that the resurrection during the end times was the same thing. But even then, I don't think it really fits. So to start, we will need to go into this with a good idea of what reincarnation actually is. The dictionary defines it as rebirth of the soul into another body. And yet, if that's all there is to it, then the idea that the Bible teaches reincarnation wouldn't be such a big deal and I could ignore this video. But that's not all there is to it. The idea of reincarnation comes from more Eastern religions like Buddhism or Hinduism. I can't really get more specific than that. And it is strongly associated with karma, in order to say that if you have bad karma, you will reincarnate as a lesser creature, and if you have good karma, then you reincarnate as an equal or better creature. Again, this isn't really my subject, so I can't get too detailed. It also comes with the idea that we have been reincarnating over and over again from the beginning. And that's the biggest problem with reincarnation. There are all sorts of logical problems that arise from that, such as why we don't remember our past lives, or how do new people come into being if everyone keeps reincarnating, and so on. The Bible teaches resurrection. We will be resurrected into new glorified bodies. Now, whether these are the same bodies but made new or completely new bodies made from scratch is up for debate, but we will be the same person, which I cannot say the same for reincarnation because it implies we lose our memories, and memories are a vital part of who we are as people. Okay, let's see his arguments now.
In this video you will learn that the Bible actually assumes reincarnation and even teaches it.
Ouch. Okay, first, I don't like that the voiceover does not match the person on screen. It would be different if it was someone else. But doing a voiceover to your own self-talking, which he clearly is, just doesn't fit right. Also, seeing the verses he mentions is not giving me hope that he's just defining reincarnation lightly. And there is gonna be some bad hermeneutics here.
The video will continue in a few moments. I am of the opinion that in the early days of early Christianity, after Jesus' resurrection and ascension, reincarnation was taught by the apostles in the way I am suggesting here. Unfortunately, this knowledge of reincarnation was lost over time.
Oof! Lost over time, he says. That just screams cult. If there was a list of phrases to see as red flags, lost over time would definitely be high on the list. Not that it's impossible to use the phrase and be correct, but I don't think anyone ever does.
Let yourself be surprised if I can convince you of my ideas. To begin with, I will tell you 3 principles that are very important in the theology of reincarnation.
Wait, what? Only concerns non-humans? Well, that caught me by surprise. I don't even know what to say right now. Let's see if he can explain that.
In the Great Commission, Jesus also concealed the fact that, in addition to us humans, there are also non-humans on earth who also need to be saved from hell or extinction.
Well, I don't feel the need to show him talking too much because he seems to have his argument on screen. So first, it's a little sus that he's using the extended ending of Mark, which is up for debate. But that doesn't really matter because the context is clearly talking about people.
And he said unto them, Go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned.
Do you really think Jesus is asking his disciples to preach to the lions, tigers, and bears?
Oh my!
And that some of the animals will believe and some won't?
These are the Nephilim mentioned in the 6th chapter of Genesis.
Nephilim were people too, and if you try to say that the disciples would not have seen them as people, then you've answered your own question. Because if they did not see the Nephilim as people, assuming the Nephilim were still around, which I don't, then there would have been other groups they would not have seen as people, which also was refuted by Jesus earlier in the parable of the Good Samaritan.
But in my opinion also other beings who lived in prehistoric times. Therefore, there will be no changes in theology for people. Reincarnation only concerns beings from ancient times who must be born again and again in human or animal bodies until a point in time determined by Jesus. People only live once and then face their final judgment in the afterlife without being reborn on Earth as a human or animal. Only non-humans reincarnate continuously until the time set by Jesus.
I thought that the voice-over was just an intro, but it looks like it goes through the whole thing. Very cringe. So I did not go into this video prepared to talk about the Nephilim, but saying reincarnation only applies to Nephilim is more than just a bit useless. Unless you can show that the Nephilim were still around, and more than that show that they have been reincarnating this whole time.
The purpose of reincarnation is not to redeem oneself by reaching a state of consciousness. Non-human beings from prehistoric times must constantly reincarnate as humans or animals as retribution for what these beings did to humans in prehistoric times, i.e., the time before the flood.
And now, I just noticed that the voice-over is a text-to-speech program, which is better but still weird to have over your own talking, like at least get an avatar or something.
There they gave people deadly puzzle challenges. At that time, person was chosen to solve the task or tasks. If this person failed and could not solve the tasks given to him, many people in his family, his city, or his entire region were killed or eaten by the Nephilim.
LOL. What? Citation required. Nowhere in the Bible does it say anything of the sort. That is remarkably specific for someone who can't provide a source.
Or the people of entire cities were taken out of their human bodies by the gods who still ruled the earth at that time, who are mentioned by the Holy Spirit in Psalm 82 in the Bible.
This is gonna be a long video, isn't it? I won't bother to argue about his translation, but I will absolutely deny this polytheistic idea he's pushing. There has only ever been one God. It could be argued that Satan is or did rule as a god, but he was given that authority by God.
And immediately integrated into animal bodies. From that moment on, the people affected no longer knew that they had once been human. They forgot their entire previous life up to that point in one fell swoop. Let us assume hypothetically that this could actually have been the case. How do you think Jesus would react if such conditions really had existed on Earth in ancient times? Is it not logical and theologically explainable that he would simply wipe such a civilization off the face of the earth through a major cataclysmic event and pay back the gods from Psalm 82 or the Nephilim and the other tyrannical beings of ancient times in the same coin, and then, at a certain point, let them incarnate in bodies of other species, with complete loss of memory of their own true identity?
This is just way too much speculation. And I looked at the description for his video and it looks like all his videos are Gnostic like this, which is making it very tempting to just stop here and write this video off as nonsense, which it is. But I feel I should push through. Maybe it will help me build up a tolerance so I can cut more nonsense out of the videos I'm responding to in order to keep my responses quicker.
But let us now turn to the Bible passages which, in my opinion, provide conclusive evidence that the idea of reincarnation was present in early Christianity and that reincarnation must also have been taught by the apostles in some way. Many of us know the scribe Nicodemus from the Bible, who came to Jesus one night and asked him whether it was possible for a person to be born again from his mother. When I was looking into the issue of reincarnation in 2022 or 2023, ChatGPT pointed out to me that
Ha 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 ha. So he's getting his info from ChatGPT? That explains a lot, actually. It's getting harder and harder to take this guy seriously. In fact, I can't. Anyone who unashamedly gets their facts from ChatGPT has got to be a troll. And I don't want to waste my time or anyone else's on this drivel any longer. This would have made a good April Fool's video, but anyway, goodbye, and see you in the next one.